So this is here's our question and answer session. Our first question: what do we think about Hugo Chavez? I
Um,
kind of like him in
yeah,
a weird way. I
I
find him
mean,
amusing. I don't think he's
I mean,
nearly he's not that
yeah,
dangerous,
he's kind of, he's definitely kind of a shady political boss, but,
but he's also kind of clownish. And the fact is, he needs the United States badly enough that he's not
yeah,
going to
yeah,
do anything
I
to
mean,
us.
the main thing that links him to the United States is the need to keep operating Citgo.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that
That
people don't remember is that we're their primary outlet for their oil. They have a lot of oil, but we're the ones that buy
I mean,
it.
Citgo actually seems to own most of the rural gas stations in upstate New York.
It's
You
not
know
just
that,
that they own Citgo, it's brick and mortar
yeah,
locations. Like they've got real estate in the
yeah,
United
they've
States.
got real estate. I mean, their Venezuela is actually the primary source of asphalt in the eastern United States. You know, they're so linked in, that I mean, other countries don't even have refineries for producing their kind of oil because Venezuelan oil is it's very viscous. You know, it's barely a liquid at room temperature at all. Of course, when oil comes out of the ground, it's about at the temperature of a hot cup of coffee, so it's freely flowing in the oil well, and then, it sort of turns to
But this is
molasses
more
when it
this
gets
is
out.
but this is more like molasses to begin with, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Venezuelan oil is very viscous, and it has a high asphalt content, and so that that they're literally surfacing the roads in the eastern United States, and that other countries don't really have the infrastructure to process their stuff.
And this sort of will lead into this next question. I was also going to say that the ways in which he could be dangerous, he seems to be not so hell bent on. Like, he makes attempts at power grabs, but he actually has real elections, and when he loses, he just loses and then says he'll try again. You know?
Yeah,
Like
and
he is trying to get a lot of
a
power,
main
but.
problem that he's had is just that the opposition is pretty weak in Venezuela. Like there's a lot of those people were thrown out of power for a reason.
And I would
Um,
like to see him work a little faster and a little harder in terms of real socialism at improving the lives of the majority of Venezuelans, because I do think that there's disproportionate benefit coming from the oil wealth, but I think that it's better than it was before. And even though he talks tough to the United States, the U.S. and Venezuela are economic partners,
no,
and that's not going to stop. And I think it's great that he gave
no.
Obama a book by Galliano, because Galliano is a great author. I mean, everybody's talking about how he's this like crazy leftist author. I don't really think that he's that crazy of a leftist.
Chavez had a great quote when he was expelling the U.S. ambassador about a year or so ago. That he actually was speaking in front of this big rally and announcing it, and that he really like rips into the guy, and then at the at the end he says, váyanse al carajo cien veces Yankees de mierda, which means go to hell 100 times, shitty Yankees. Um,
Well, that's the other thing. I do have to admire his stamina, because the thing is, we do a show periodically for an hour, and that fucker gets up there
yeah,
for six, seven, 8 hours every
Chavez
week.
has a regular call-in
I mean,
show.
like, and
You
and
know,
he's so much more accessible than like any
I
other
wonder,
national leader.
I wonder if he, like what kind of calls he takes.
Well,
Does
I'm sure they're heavily screened, just like
yeah.
every other radio call-in show. But yeah, every Sunday he has a show, and
I think you can watch it on YouTube.
you maybe
It,
I've seen parts of it here and there,
yeah.
but I don't know how quickly it gets up. But
Yeah,
yeah, he does a
and
show on
neither
Sundays.
one of us
It's
really
called
knows that much
it's called
Spanish.
El
I mean, I can,
Presidente, isn't
read
it?
a,
Isn't it
yeah,
called El Presidente?
yeah,
Yeah. So and he wears the red, and everybody there wears the red, and people from his cabinet are in the audience, and he asks them questions and puts them on the spot. And this is another impressive thing about Chavez is he really knows his shit. He'll call on people in his cabinet, and if they don't know the numbers, he gets on their case because he knows their numbers. He knows the details of what's going on in all the cabinets. He's kind of a dick about it, but I find it interesting that he would have, like, can you imagine if Barack Obama went on TV for 6 hours every Sunday in a pseudo variety show kind of fashion with his entire cabinet and was like, Clinton, Hillary
yeah.
Clinton, now why don't
I,
you tell me what you're doing in Pakistan?
I think also in Chavez's case, like it's a little easier to do that just because the size of the country is smaller.
Well, of course, but the point is just the idea of it so fucking amusing to me. You know, I'm not saying that I love
Yep.
Chavez, but I do like things about him, and I think he's demonized. And I'd be afraid if I were him because, you know, if there just as much a candidate for Cheney's assassination squads as anybody else is, and
Yeah.
it would
Well,
be a
he
nerve
probably he
wracking
probably has
job.
better security than Morales. You know, the country has more money. You
I'm sure
know.
he has better security than Morales, but I'm saying I'd still be very nervous about it if I
Yeah.
were him. But yeah. But anybody have anything else we can keep go? Chavez is funny, but
Yeah.
we're not like experts on Chavez. Penis. Well, I don't think we have much to say
Yeah.
about penis.
I don't know anything about Chavez's penis actually.
Yeah, I have no idea about Chavez's
Yeah,
penis.
another thing that I've noticed about him. I do know enough Spanish to know that I think his accent is funny.
I don't know enough Spanish
Yeah.
to know that. I really need to brush up on my Spanish, but I was joking that I don't know if I should work on Spanish, Urdu, Pashtun, or Arabic. I don't know which one would be the most useful. El Salvador, I don't know much
I
about
haven't
El
seen anything
Salvador.
from it lately.
No, yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
this is the election of the FMLN guys from the that now in both Nicaragua and El Salvador the ruling parties are people that were guerrillas in the 1980s. And that's really got to piss Dick Cheney off
you
too.
know what? I think I might have heard something about that, but like maybe I didn't read the whole thing. Maybe I just
Yeah.
read the headline. This person wants to know what we think about 20,000 U.S. troops on American soil by 2011. Are you talking about the Homeland
Yeah, I hope
tours?
they're all here actually.
Yeah. First of all, I want them back here instead of being in Iraq. Second of all, if you're talking about the Homeland tours, those have actually already started, and I'm very concerned about them because they're clearly a violation of Posse Comitatus. And I'll tell you that I have a family member who works with the Army and the Marines in the capacity of social work, so family advocacy programs, and he actually went down south to the base where the Homeland tours are based at and talked to those guys about the Homeland tours, and those guys that are serving in the Homeland tours are pissed.
I
They
don't
are
even know what
pissed
they're
off.
doing.
They
It's
are doing crowd control. They've been
yeah.
trained in like special crowd control techniques in case of riots and unrest in the United States.
Hmm.
And then they say like in parentheses or natural disasters.
I don't get it. We don't have particularly bad crowd control problems in the United States.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, if you compare our rioters to other countries,
it's true.
yeah,
It's
no
true,
contest.
but that's what they say that